Don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Study with Ness. Today, we are diving into the wonderful world of pseudocode. So grab your virtual pen and let's get started. Alright, so what exactly is pseudocode? Well, think of it as a language that combines elements of both programming and human language. It allows us to express algorithms and program logic without worrying about the specific syntax of a particular programming language. It's like a bridge between our thoughts and the actual code. Now, before we dive deeper, let's establish a couple of rules for writing pseudocode. First, all keywords should be written in capital letters. This helps to distinguish them from regular words and makes the code more readable. Second, any names or identifiers, like variables, should start with a capital letter. This convention makes it easier to identify them in the code. Okay, now let's explore one of the fundamental elements of pseudocode, variables. A variable is like a labeled container that holds a value, and we can manipulate this value throughout our program. It's a way to store and retrieve information. In pseudocode, the assignment statement is used to assign a value to a variable. It's denoted by an arrow pointing from the variable to the value or expression that will be stored in it. Let me give you an example. Suppose we have a variable called count, and we want to assign it the value of 10. In pseudocode, we would write, simple, right? The arrow signifies that the value on the right side is assigned to the variable on the left side. Now, let's talk about some assignment operators that we can use in pseudocode. These operators help us perform various mathematical operations and manipulate values. These operators allow us to perform arithmetic operations on values or expressions. For example, if we want to assign the result of adding two variables, let's say x and y, to another variable called sum, we would write, great. Now that we understand variables and assignment statements, let's move on to conditional statements in pseudocode. Conditional statements help us make decisions in our programs. One of the most common conditional statements is the if-then-else statement. It allows us to execute different blocks of code based on certain conditions. Here's how it looks in pseudocode. If the condition in the if statement is true, the code within the then block is executed. Otherwise, if the condition is false, the code within the else block is executed. Let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say we have a variable called age, and we want to check if someone is eligible to vote. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, we display the message, you can vote. Otherwise, we display, you cannot vote. In pseudocode, it would look like this. In this example, if the condition age is greater or equals to 18 is true, the message you can vote will be displayed. Otherwise, the message you cannot vote will be displayed. Let's consider another example. Suppose we have two variables, x and y, and we want to compare their values. If x is greater than y, we display x is greater. If x is less than y, we display x is smaller. And if both values are equal, we display x and y are equal. The pseudocode would be awesome. Now let's move on to comparison operators. These operators help us compare values or conditions. Here's a table summarizing the most common ones. These comparison operators allow us to compare values and conditions to make decisions in our programs. Lastly, let's touch on the case of otherwise statement. It provides a way to handle multiple conditions and execute different blocks of code based on them. The otherwise part acts as a default case when none of the conditions match. Let's see it in action with a couple of examples. Suppose we have a variable called day of week, representing the current day of week. Depending on the day, we want to display a specific message. Here's how it can be done in pseudocode. In this example, based on the value of the day of week variable, the corresponding day message is displayed. If the value doesn't match any case, the default case invalid day is displayed. And that's the wrap for today. We've covered the basics of pseudocode, variables, assignment statements, conditional statements, and comparison operators. I hope you found this breakdown helpful in your coding journey. As always, remember to practice, experiment, and have fun with coding. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. That's all for now. Peace out.